at some point in all of our lives, we're like, I would love to write a book. I want to leave my stories of my life to whoever, to the world, to my grandchildren, whatever that looks like. I think, we all have that inside of us. We should write down the stories of our lives, but it's very hard to do because we don't know where to start. So
Exactly.
when someone comes to you and they say, okay, I do want to write a book, I think it's everybody, I want to write a book. What do you tell them and where should they start?
Well, first of all, you don't really want to write a book.
Okay.
You want to have a published book that you are the author of. And I think like that is actually really helpful to know because, Winston Churchill, he's a Pulitzer Prize winning author, but he didn't write like type every word.
Mhm.
He had editors, he had ghostwriters, he had secretaries, he had researchers, and Hillary Clinton, all the famous politicians, the movie stars, the business tycoons. Do you think they actually sat there with the blank page staring them in the face? Like, no. And now, thanks to Zoom and other platforms, you don't have to write your book. You can speak it. So I have the spoken author method. So what I do with people, first we reverse engineer it. What's your business? What are the objections that cost you the sale? What are the stories that move people? And let's just grab all of those stories, make it easy and fast for an entrepreneur or leader. I interview them. They also get the bonus of then they've got a bunch of podcast, episodes that they can use or video they can slice and dice for social media. And then the result is a very fun, fast, and easy book that's conversational. That's your stories, that's your expertise. And any leader or entrepreneur of any, worth has got stories. They've got expertise. It's not like they need to make this up, but they need to have the support of a structure to pull it together into a really nice book. And I could go on, but I have found time and time again for my clients that the difference between good and great is being clear on your message. And when you are a published author, all of a sudden, all these doors open to you that are not open previously. It's like having a PhD or an MBA, as I have, or being a dentist. Like you have a certain extra quantum leap of respect as an author because the root of authority
Yeah.
is author.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that real quick because in your book, Turn Words into Wealth, you talk about this message, a clear message, $1 million message, right? And I, for one, I get tripped up on what is my message. I feel like it has to be perfect, and I'm coming up with all these words, and I'm looking at thesaurus.com and just trying to be super creative with all this, and I get frustrated because at the end of the day, is like, I don't know if this message is good, and I don't know if it's relatable to people, and maybe it's too complicated. So what do you talk about, like this $1 million message? Talk about that.
Yeah, that's such an important thing to have. And what I love to do is my background's in film and television. So I love to teach people the structure. There's a structure behind effective communication. So you're probably familiar from watching movies, the hero's journey. We never tire of the hero's journey, but it's always the same structure. There's more than one kind of structure underneath stories. But when people understand the structure, then they can riff on the words. So the words are not as important as that there's a story. So your $1 million message, when a lot of people can't even answer the question, what do you do? There's a structure for answering the question, what do you do? And once you know the structure, you can, play with the words a little bit. And people really want your energy, not just the perfect, $2 word that you got in the thesaurus that they're like, what?
No, definitely. So is this something that you help craft? Because I'm like, I need some help with this. I need some expertise or maybe just some affirmation. Is this something that you kind of walk with your clients through?
Exactly. I walk them through the various different kinds of structure. I can teach you one real quick that everybody could learn because it's so easy. It doesn't need a longer explanation. And then what we do is we take those various structures and we put them into their book. So, for example, if you just really look at the structure behind my latest book, Turn Words into Wealth, you'll see I've done this. So there's a little section that's myth busting. The myth is X, The fact is, why? So this is something everybody should have this little structure in your toolkit. When you know what's costing you the sale, or you know what is a common misunderstanding of what you're up to, can you honestly create 180 degrees opposite? So the myth is that most New York Times bestselling authors make most of their money from the books. The fact is that most New York Times bestselling authors make 85% of their revenue from things besides their books, consulting, speaking, workshops. So there's an example. But because I know the structure, I can use it on anything. The myth is that Brett doesn't have time to write a book. The fact is, doing it the right way, Brett could easily have time to write a book. Right? Wow. So there's an example of a structure.
Thank you so much for checking out the Brett Snodgrass channel. If you like this video, please slam on that like button. And if you really like it, then subscribe to our channel here. And remember to leave us a comment below, and I'm going to try my hardest to reply to all the comments. Thank you guys so much. This is why I do what I do. Every single week, I come out with content that focuses on success, freedom, and living out your purpose. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.